Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Coogan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here in Edinburgh. With me, we've got NISSE SAUERLAND. Welcome to one of the best cities on the planet.
Thank you very much. It is a lovely city, I got to give you that. It's bloody beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, I'm biased, NISSE, so it's one of the best cities in the world. If you need any recommendations where you want to go, let me know and I'll sort you out. But let's talk business. Lee McGregor's in a world title fight against Eric Robles here at the Meadowbank Arena. Now, these Mexicans, they've came over here and up to set the apricot. Lara's one of them, Strathorn's another one. They've done it here before. What kind of fight are you expecting?
Not an easy one, but it shouldn't be easy, you know, for an IBO world title. It should be a tough fight. It's his homecoming. He's ready for it. He's won the British title, Commonwealth title, the European title. So this is just something to add to you know, his mantelpiece. I think that Lee. I jumped at the chance of signing Lee. I said this a while ago. Look, I met him 5-6 years ago, and I thought, this kid's quite a mean bastard sort of thing, you know, I like him, and got the chance to sign him about 5 years down the line, and was very happy to do that, and happy to have him headlining in his hometown.
It should be, and like I said, I'm happy you're here as well, because especially the city of Edinburgh, everyone goes to Glasgow, or I'm travelling to Manchester, Liverpool, London, Newcastle to get the show. So for me, I'm going to be a little bit cheesy here, and I'm going to thank you and say thank you for coming here.
I look forward to you showing me the cigar shops of Edinburgh. I'm very excited.
Literally a 2-3 minute walk down that road. It's Jeffrey Street Cigars. Let's go. Bye. Jeffrey Street Cigar and Whiskey. Beautiful place. I'll take you down there if you want after this. But yeah. And the big man said, well, come on, we're going to talk about you in a minute, Matty Harris, don't worry.
Cigars for that.
No cigars for Matty until do you not?
You can start drinking at 40.
When you're retired. Yeah, the card itself, I mean, you've got big Matty Harris on there, we've got Isaac Lowe, we've got Aston Brown, do you know what I mean? We've got Harlem Eubank as well, so it's... yeah, Ben Andrews making his debut. There you go, so it's a stacked card for fighters that are just thinking Lee McGregor's on the card. The Scottish fans should turn out, and the guys who tune into Channel 5, because it's a stacked card.
Yeah, it's going to be also, the undercard will be live on DAZN, so you'll be able to catch, I believe... From memory, Isaac Lowe first fight on the DAZN card internationally and the undercard in the UK, and then Channel 5 for the main events, which will be from 10 o'clock.
Amazing, man. It's buzzing. But I do want to touch on that man beside you. With the heavyweight division, I mean, you represent HRGOVIC, who I will talk about as well. But the heavyweight division, especially domestically, when you've got young guys like Matty Harris, when we talk about the Fabio Wardleys, is that Lee Eaton again? This is the third interview he's interrupted, Nissa. Yeah, he's a pest. Talk about that man to your left, Matty Harris.
Look, I mean, I was really impressed with what he set up, you know, on stage, just talking about it's what's expected of him. You know, he should be knocking these guys out, and that's true. You know, I never thought about it like that. It's not normally like, okay, you know, oh, he's just knocked this guy out and everyone should make a... You know, he just expects to go in there and win. He doesn't over-celebrate his victories. He just knows he needs to go and get the job done. And... look, on this guy on Friday, he took a tomb of the distance, so I expect him to take Matty a few rounds as well. Let's see what he's got. Everyone's raving about Atoma, so it's nice to compare. I'm not saying you can compare, but it's nice to see. It's a little bit of a yardstick, and I just hope he gives him some rounds, because it's really hard to get him any rounds, and you know, it's quite hard.
Well, that's what it keeps you in a job then, I suppose, finding fighters for these young fighters. But like I say, the domestic scene as well, and then you've got the world scene now. When you look at the world scene in the heavyweight division, we've got the Tyson Furies fighting in Ngannou, we've got Joshua White fighting each other, we've got USYK and Dubois, but you've got a guy in HRGOVIC who's fighting. He's fighting in August. He wins. He's IBF. He gets the IBF shot. Now, you've been in the game long enough, Nissa. Is that going to happen? Will he get his shot? Because we know these world titles, they get held hostage for a long time, but how do you see that playing out?
So I didn't honestly think we would be in this position so far down the line. He won his eliminator in August last year, so it's hard to believe it's been a year where he's been inactive, which is, you know, it's a real shame. We've tried to get the IBF over the line. And you know, the shame is that they didn't get the Fury Usyk fight, which I would have totally understood. But now suddenly Usyk's fighting Dubois for the WBA mandatory. I don't expect that to be a hard fight for Usyk, but at the same time, Dubois got power, so he does have a puncher's chance, and Usyk does take a few shots. So I think that after that fight, Usyk Dubois, they'll call the IBF mandatory. We've had that said to us by the IBF.
Well, that's good because, like I say, I speak to a lot of guys that have heavyweights and they're sort of frustrated that these heavyweight titles have been held up with rematch clauses and maybe events happening in Saudi Arabia and whatnot.
Well, that's why you have mandatories, and that's to keep. And the IBF are very strong in enforcing mandatories. But the whole situation between Usyk and Fury delayed a lot of time for everyone. I wouldn't have been so frustrated if the fight had come off because, look, as a fan, wanted to see the fight. And I wouldn't have stood in the way. But now it's Philip's turn, quite simply, after Dubois Usyk, and providing he beats Dempsey McKing, because we're not overlooking him, it's his turn.
Well, exciting times for the heavyweight division for the domestic scene and Matty Harris here, and obviously HRGOVIC you've got at that world level. But jumping back onto this card here with Lee McGREGor, like I said to you, I'm excited that he's making a homecoming. Now he's fighting for the IBO world title. It's probably it's not the top four, but it's a piece of the puzzle. It's a carrot you can dangle in front of the other world champions and say, listen, if you want a bet, come and have a go. So when you're looking at the world champions, Inoue, Fulton, whatever happens there, I think Napales holds another two of the belts, the Mexican guy. How far is Lee from these guys?
I mean, let's see on Friday night how he does. You know, I think this is a very capable fighter coming to have a proper war. So it'll be interesting to see. I think I don't think he's far off. I think, look, he's coming into his peak at the moment. He's 28 now, so he can't be far off. A couple of fights, but at the same time, like you said, this gives us a good bargaining chip and makes people internationally know Lee's name.
Obviously, one final one from me, and before we go to this cigar and whiskey shop, and I'll show you the ropes. Why should the fans tune into Channel 5, the Zone for the undercard, and the fans at the arena? Why should they tune into the Zone and Channel 5 on Friday night?
I think you're going to see a good, proper, honest war.
Sorry about that.
What?
An honest battle, did you say?
Honest war.
Honest war, but you said battle there. I was like,
yeah, no, just two guys going at it, I think. That's my prediction.
That's music to my ears because I love a fight. I thought you said bar, honest bar. I was like, what, there's a bar there? Okay, that's good. That's for me and you, though.
I'm sure there'll be a bar there. Yeah, I'm sure. But we'll be too busy in the cigar shop.
Exactly that. Listen, Nissa, thank you so much, and let's see you in the next one. Thanks, Nissa.
Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests, Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking shut up.